viendo Weho Sports. You are watching Weho Sports. I am watching Weho Sports.
The Humble Shot 2014. Weho Sports. Weho Sports.
It's all about responsible round. Responsible round. Responsible round. Responsible round.
Hi, my name is Ken Todd. I'm Lisa Vanderpump's husband. I'm Jiggy's, the person that carries Jiggy, and I give a good shout out to Weho Sports. Thank you.
I'm DJ. This is Jimmy Rollins, and you're watching Weho Sports Show. Thank you very much.
Hey, this is Kike Hernandez, and you're watching Weho Sports Show.
I'm Justin Turner, and you're watching the Weho Sports Show.
Well, good evening and welcome to Weho Sports. My name is Raul Alonso and I'm your host. Welcome Los Angeles, West Hollywood, and around the world to another edition of Weho Sports. Tonight we're going to be talking about, of course, the NFL and the Super Bowl. We're going to be talking about their halftime and how West Hollywood looks and sees football. And we're going to be talking also about different athletes that have made big change. Since it's Black History Month, we're going to be talking about some black athletes that have made a big difference in our community. So, but first of all, I want to introduce our guests. As you know, Weho Sports is always been open to give brand new people a shot of something that I love to do and hopefully they love to do. And today's guest in the hot chat, his name is Jamal Goodwin. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastico. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What you want our viewers in La La Land and around the world to know.
Hello there in La La Land. Well, my name is Jamal Goodwin, and I'm 22 years old, and I'm studying to become in this kind of field where I'm behind the camera or in front of the camera. So I'm just taking a step forward in my life is what I'm trying to do here. Get some experience and have some fun here and learn something about sports and anything else along the way, I guess, you know?
Fantastico. So are you the only child? You have siblings?
No, I didn't know we were getting that personal, but no, I have a younger brother. I have a couple, actually, of siblings. I have a younger brother, well, two of them, another older one, an older sister, and a younger sister, so it's kind of like a mix of us. And I love them all as much as, I get the chance to. I don't talk to everyone every day like I should, but, you know, I'm trying to work on that. But at the same time, I'm trying to work on me. So, I don't know, what else can I say about myself? I work at Starbucks. I love it there, you know. It's great. Come get a cup of coffee. No, I'm ready to start talking about this Black History Month, and I think that's what we need to start focusing on. I think I'm ready for that.
Okay, perfect. So let's do the first video. And we're going to start with Jason Collins, okay. And we'll let our viewers see.
12 hours later, how does it feel?
It's incredible. You just try to live an honest, genuine life, and next thing you know, you have the president calling you. And,
what did he say?
He was incredibly supportive, and he was proud of me, and said that this not only affected my life, but others going forward.
Martina Navratilova said this is going to save some kids' lives.
You know, I look at her as one of my heroes. The dignity and the class that she's lived her life and all that she's achieved in her career. She is my role model. Hopefully, going forward, I can be someone else's role model.
So, that's what he talked. That's what he talked about when he came out, and of course he touched on one of the greatest, Martina Navratilova, What is your opinion of him coming out and
I would, well, first I agree with Martina. I think that him coming out can save someone's life, and I can almost guarantee you that it has saved someone's life. And even more so, I can definitely guarantee him myself that he has inspired at least one person, if not probably hundreds, to come out of the closets. A lot of people, I know, are older than him that are still in the closet. So for an athlete in such a masculine-dominated, sport, or a certain thing that we do with as Americans, we love sports, but we always think of that as like a manly thing. For him to come out gay, that says a lot. That not only do gay people play sports, or I shouldn't say gay people, but homosexual people play sports, but that we have pros that play them as well. So I think that it's amazing, and I think more athletes should come out if they are. If you're not, then of course don't fake it. But if you are, you should come out. But I understand that there are certain circumstances, like you may have a contract that may be tied up with something, you can't say certain things. So, but that just shows how the industry works, I guess, at the same time.
It's true, but I mean, it's very difficult because I went through that because I used to play professional soccer, and I knew that I was different, and I couldn't come out because I knew that if I came out, my whole career would have been over.
Right.
And now I think there's a little bit more of tolerance, but still, to come out is hard. Right. Because if you have sponsorships, they might pull back. Martina lost a lot of money when she decided to come out.
Right.
But she didn't really care. She said, this is me, and So I think a lot of them saw her as a role model, just like Jason saw her as a role model. And you get scared. You get scared to go there because it's deeper than that. Because now when he came out, now people started asking him to become like a gay icon, and all of the agencies are pulling him here and pulling him there. And to me, that's also a little bit wrong, but, that's another day for another subject.
Well, I mean, I think it's cool that people want to kind of, not cool, but I think it's okay if they want to use his image now as something positive, pulling him to now, okay, first pro athlete to come out as gay. Let's use his image to perhaps make other people come out. And I think if more people did, it would become a rolling ball. He's kicked the ball, now who's going to kick it next?
Well,
with Martina, she definitely kicked the ball, and no one kicked it with her, and that's where the problem is. People, I think if more athletes and celebrities will band together, they won't lose their contracts, because then it'll be on. Then I'm sure the public will look at the companies like, well, what are you doing?
Well, the difference with Martina and him was that Martina played an individual sport.
Mm-hmm.
See, and he plays a team sport.
Right.
It's a big difference.
Okay.
Because now you got to tell your whole teams and stuff. Martina, she came out, but she wasn't really in a locker room with other players and stuff like that that made them uncomfortable. She didn't have to go through all of that either, though she went through a lot of shit.
Right.
But that's what happens when you are a professional athlete. Your whole life changes, just like what we're doing on television. We're expected to behave a totally different way than just regular people because we are on television. And it comes with the territory, so...
Well, I mean, it comes with the territory. That's why it's always important to make sure you stay true to yourself. And it's really unfortunate that she would lose her endorsements over something as small as her sexuality. It's a small part of who she is. It should focus on the way she plays, not who she is behind with closed doors. That's her business.
And she was the queen of tennis in her era. Now it's Serena Williams, right?
Right.
So,
Well,
hey, my sister.
Yeah, that girl.
So
she kills on the field.
She does. But let's get, you talked about Jason making a difference, and he made a difference on this next athlete that we're going to show. So let's play that bit.
I know what it's like to cry yourself to sleep or have a girlfriend when that's really not your girlfriend, and just to try to impress your friends. I know all that is life. Nobody should want to live like that. That's a fake way of living, and I'm not a fake person. I want to be real with myself, and be real to the world with who I really am.
Why did you think that this wouldn't happen for a couple of years?
Jason Collins come out, he gave me a lot of inspiration, but just waiting for that next college basketball player to come out it just never happened, which made me even more depressed because it's like, it made me start to think that it's not happening no time soon. Like, it's just not. There was times where I just went back to my room and I cried. Like, there was times I cried so much I cried myself to sleep. I never want nobody to feel like that. And it's just because I felt like that I wasn't accepted. Every time I go in the locker room, it's just about girls. I really can't have no input on the conversations that they have. Like, I always stay by myself, and they was always wondering why I was doing that, and that's just because, like, I felt different. We'll come in after practice or a game, and either people will already be in the shower, or they'll see me going back towards the shower, and nobody won't go. They whisper amongst themselves, and I hear it, and I think that's what started me from distancing myself and not going out with them and just staying to myself. And I didn't even feel like high no more, and I had to be confident in myself. I got to be able to live my life and not have to worry about what people are saying, whether it's good or bad. Like, I can't worry about that because that's not a healthy way of living.
When we talked the day that you came out to your team, I asked you to describe how you felt, and you said that you couldn't. You couldn't describe how you felt. Can you describe it now?
These are the guys who you play with every day and joke around with and stuff like that. You got to see them every day, and I got to go in there and tell them that I'm gay. I was telling my story, and you could just see a couple of them was getting emotional because I was speaking from my heart. I was telling them how I felt. Some of them knew that they was picking on me over the summer about it, and those was the ones that started feeling bad about it. And it was a couple times I got choked up. Probably that, besides me telling my parents, that was another hardest thing to tell my teammates, but like they was comfortable. Nothing changed when they knew about it. So when I started thinking about that and they didn't treat me any different or anything like that, then I just came to my senses like, all right, well, like, that came to show that they was accepting of it. But I don't want to look at it as, all right, I'm just gay. I play basketball too, and like, that's all I really want to worry about. It's just more of I'm just coming out so I can just be myself. But I had to look at it. I still play basketball, and that's what I care for the most. I still have a family that I want to provide for and my degree that I want to get. So I don't want my teammates to feel that I'm getting so caught up in the coming out stuff that I'm not really too worried about working out or anything like that. That's not the case at all. Once this is over, just get back to playing the sport that I love, and I just hope that a lot of people will look at my story and be able to get something out of it. Kids shouldn't have to worry about, I'm not going to be accepted into my sport or whatever it may be. I play at one of the highest levels. I just want to come out to the world and just continue on playing basketball and lead my team this year to another NCAA tournament.
So what is your opinion about this? This is kind of heavy because he's only 22 years old.
I have a lot to say about it, and I would like to say first, if one of the things that I found that has worked for me when it comes to coming out to people is don't treat it as that. You treat it as this is a small part of who I am, and find a way to intricate it into a simple conversation. Make up about an ex-boyfriend that you have, because once you use it and you put it out there, it's no longer a weapon that can be used against you. Keeping it as a secret is where the problem begins. So I feel like, and I'm not saying that he's wrong for keeping it as a secret, because different circumstances, your safety may be at risk. But in my current situation, or anybody else who has the same situation that I have, where you're just living your life and you're meeting new people, and you might want to just tell them, but you don't want to make a big deal about it, you just insert it simply. You don't have to throw glitter on everything. You know what I mean? Not like to say it like that, because I do love glitter. But what I'm saying is you just simply insert it, because it's no longer going to be used as a weapon, because now it becomes about, okay, that's who he is, and he's already accepted himself. They can't touch you there.
Well, I love the story as he's telling it, and he's saying that the team accepted him.
Right.
But a lot of times you don't know how they're gonna respond,
no,
because, like you say, it's a men's world, you know, and you have to be macho, and you know they don't see those kind of things.
Well, he doesn't seem like anybody who's lacking any masculinity in any sense. So I think, not to pinpoint on Gordon, but I think for him, he wanted to wait for somebody to be that next gay basketball player. It was him that needed to be that next gay basketball player, and he's going to be the inspiration for the next person. Doing it early, like I said, it no longer can be used as a weapon against you. Now if they bring it up in the NBA, we're like, well, we knew that since he was 22. That's old. What else? What about the way he plays now? Let's talk about that. So
yeah, but we're seeing a big old difference on professional level and on college, because even in football and everything, when players have come out in college, they're accepted. But to move to play on the pros, it's much harder for them to accept it. I don't know if the machismo kind of carries over or what it is. I think it has to do a lot with your whole life changes once you get a professional contract and stuff like that, and you have to supposedly behave a certain way, but that shouldn't stop you from being who you are.
I don't think that's always. Sometimes that's not always the case. With the major leagues or any of those, where you're talking about the NFL, NBA, and MLB. Glenn Burke was somebody who was loved by his teammates, and they knew that he was gay. His teammate Davey Lopes, they were all in full sadness when he was traded off for quite possibly rumored reasons of homophobia by the owners, but not the teammates. So I feel as if that situation can be varied, but as I said before, if you do it early, you're gonna attract the people who already don't care that you are part of the LGBTQ community.
But like with him, he got into a deeper thing because he was the best player at that time, and what happened was he started dating Tommy Lasorda's son, and Tommy Lasorda has been a Dodger for a long, long time. So at one time, Tommy Lasorda was the coach, and he had the power to go tell people, look, I don't want this player here. And unfortunately, he was one of those players, and Tommy Lasorda traded him for the worst player in the National Baseball League. Now,
I remember he
was the best player, and you're going to trade him for the worst player just to make a point because you didn't like it that he was dating your son.
Well, you made a point, and now I think that, like I said, if more people continue to roll the ball of coming out and being themselves, then it becomes more than just one victim at a time. It won't be many more victims because it'll be a group of people coming out at once. Just like when those musicians band together and said, we're not going to put our videos out for you to steal them illegally. We need to have a band of gay athletes that come out and say, we're not going to not play just because we're gay.
True.
So,
I totally agree with you.
How ready are you to do it is what it comes down to, honestly. So everyone's got their backstory and everyone's got a sad story. I've got one, I'm sure you've got one, and everybody else around the world has got one, gay or not. Right. But you've got to do what's right, and sometimes it takes that little backlash in order to make the right step.
You're absolutely right. And for those our viewers out there, if you guys want to come and tell us your story, you can always find us at Weho Sports, and we are every Thursday at 7 o'clock from Channel 36 at West Hollywood. And we're also on Time Warner Channel 99 at the same time through Los Angeles area. You can find us on YouTube as well as in Facebook under Weho Sports and Twitter at Weho Sports. So they can find us any which way if they really want to find us, right? So, but let's talk about football. And next week we're going to be touching more on some more African Americans. They have changed the world and opened people's sights. It don't matter whether they were black, white, or purple. They broke barriers, and that's what we're talking about in here. We're not talking about color. We're talking about what they did for the whole community, and not just in here in the United States, but globally. So
yes, of course.
We're gonna go ahead
to the Super Bowl now.
And we're gonna talk about a special that the Gay Flag Football League is putting on, and then we'll go right into football. So let's do that, and then we'll talk quickly about football in halftime. So
I played football every year of my life. I got signed by the Tennessee Titans.
I went over to NFL Europe, played for the Berlin Thunder, won an NFL Europe a championship, picked up by the Seahawks, played for them. I kind of blew up my knee to the point where I can't pass the physical. NFL career is over with. Happen to be gay also.
It was a group of guys that started playing together, and when Sid started, he sort of had this idea to have this national gay flag football tournament, and this year we're up to 19 cities and 26 teams. So this sort of what we thought might be a one-off tournament has turned out to be something we now call the Gay Bowl.
People who come out of the sports world, they may have heard faggot from their coach when they were growing up.
My mom and I were just talking, and I said, I like boys better than I like girls. My mom's like, oh, she has that moment, like, oh.
A lot of us have this thing in the back of our head where it's not necessarily that being gay is bad, but it's something that people aren't going to like.
I moved here to Phoenix, and I didn't know anybody. And you can't go to a bar, and you can't say hi because somebody thinks you want to sleep with them. I don't want to sleep with you. I just want to make friends. I want to meet people. And I met these guys.
Can I get a Hellraiser?
Sports teams in Phoenix will go throw on a dress, and we will raise money.
My first year being in New York, it was a time where I was very afraid. I knew I wanted to kiss a guy, I wanted to touch a guy, I wanted to do all these things with a guy. In the back of my mind, I still had these thoughts that it was wrong.
As far as I know, he's the only former NFL player to be in the tournament. Maybe he thinks that because of that, because he's the greatest player in the tournament, that he should win, that he feels he needs to.
This is where everybody brings it. I want to play in that championship game, and it's getting harder, and it's getting tougher.
People are out there to compete, and we want to win. I know I want to win.
Access denied!
Ready?
We're out, and we can play ball. We are these individuals who have so much pent-up stuff, bad coming-out stories, bad family life, and I think we use football to kind of let that out.
Warriors! Come out and play! Warriors! Come out and play! Let's do this shit!
So this is coming up pretty soon in movie.com. So what you think about this special they're having, documentary?
I think that it's definitely interesting to see that. I don't want to say that they've separated themselves, but they've definitely unified as a group and then created their own league of football in the play. And it's not, as you clearly saw, they're not lacking any sort of masculinity at all. But at the same time, I saw touches of what people might consider femininity, and that was what I loved the most about that trailer, was that they were still gay.
Yeah.
They just played, what I should say is that, like he said in the beginning, happen to be gay, it's a small part of who he is. The major part is the fact that he used to play football majorly. So it's important to just always be yourself, I think.
It's very important. And talking about being yourself, let's show really quick the clip of Jim's Sports Bar, which I want to thank them again for allowing us to go and film the Super Bowl from there. So let's play that because we only have a few minutes. So welcome back, Weho Sports. It's halftime, and as you can see, everybody's glued to the television right now because, like I said earlier, a lot of them just came to see halftime show. And so far, so good. So we'll figure it out as Beyonce comes out. I think this crowd out here is going to go crazy. So we're trying to figure out when she's coming out, and we'll let you know. So, welcome back, Weho Sports. We're still out here at Jim's Sports Bar, and as you can see behind me, all of a sudden this thing got empty. because the majority of the people came, like I said earlier, to watch halftime and to watch Beyonce. And the minute that was over, they all walked out of here and they went home. But there's still a lot of fans inside, and the majority of the fans that are left in here are Denver fans. So, you know, you're still gonna hear the roar whenever Denver does anything. Congratulations to Denver. And their parade, they had 1 million people for their parade. But I mean, I wanted to touch on this because I thought it was so hilarious. The bar was packed before halftime.
Right.
And the minute Queen Bee finished, everybody left, and I'm looking around like, what the hell?
Right.
But that's our crowd.
I would like to say that I always said it that it was her concert featuring the football players. And honestly, that halftime show wasn't just her. It was her, Coldplay, and Bruno Mars.
Correct.
Not in that order. So I think it is interesting, and it does show that there's a reason why she's called Queen Bee. You know what I mean? A lot of people did go to see just the halftime show, and so what? There were still people who went to go see the football game, of course, but if that's what you went to go see, that's your business. I don't think there's anything wrong. I think what is wrong is that Bruno Mars can't escape that song Uptown Funk. And I would also like to talk about, if you don't mind, the song that Beyonce performed.
Go ahead. We got a minute.
Okay. Just really quickly, I think that this song is a really good move for her politically. She's finally spoken out about a lot of things. In the video itself, not the song so much, but in the video itself, I'll talk about real quick. There's a scene where there's a boy in a hoodie. I believe that it may be a Trayvon Martin reference.
Martin, right.
And then there's another part where there's a screenshot or like a shot of graffiti in the wall saying, "Stop shooting us."
Right.
So it's another thing where I think it's a call to unify black people. That was probably I don't want to say it, but like the blackest thing she's ever done, you know? Besides people judging her from having the blonde hair, this was something that was definitely away from that Beyonce perfect girl image, perfect woman image. So I think that this song was something that people need to stop trying to demean her and look at what she's saying and look what the video's saying, more importantly. I think it's...
Yeah, because there's scheduled protests in front of the NFL and stuff because of her song and stuff. So, I mean, we're running out of time. We will touch this on next week. But don't forget to find us on Weho Sports on YouTube and Facebook, and tweet us at Weho Sports. And we'll see you next week, same time, same channel. Probably different people. Hasta la vista. See you. Deuces.